What's up, Earth? Welcome to the show. Jajana here. I hope that you're doing really great and that you are having a fantastic week, a fantastic month, and a fantastic day. If this is your first time here, what? Thank you so much for checking out this space. And if you are a loyal subscriber, I do thank you so much for always watching and for always sharing. I do really appreciate you. This is a space where we talk about life lessons learned from K-dramas, Nollywood movies, and so much more. So you know what time it is. If you are not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell just so you get the notifications once a new video goes up. I am so excited about today's show where we are talking about the best K-drama ever, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, which stars the sexiest guy alive. You ready for it? Let's get into it. So y'all already know that I am super excited to talk about It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Before we get into it, you know what time? Time for a rundown. So it is a 2020 K-drama on Netflix. It has subtitles and dubbing. And the general synopsis says that a road to emotional healing opens up for an antisocial children's book author and an employee in a psych hospital. It stars the beautiful and talented Seo Yi-ji, who plays Koo Moon-young, and the handsome and equally talented Kim Sol-hyun, who plays Moon Gang-tae. So the story delves into the emotional baggage both of them carry and how their paths to healing becomes intertwined. They have a unique relationship that challenges societal norms as Moon Young helps Gang-tae confront his suppressed feelings, and he in turn provides stability and support for her crazy life, right? It's a drama that addresses themes of mental health, trauma, and the power of love and acceptance. It truly is well written. The characters are complex, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Gang-tae's trauma comes from his mother being murdered and him having to now be responsible for his older brother who is autistic. And Moon Young comes from a two-parent household, but her mother is an author who writes about murder, and she actually became a murderer because as we go into the story, we discover that she murdered Gang-tae's mother. And that's the reason why Gang-tae had no stability and why he now was responsible for his older brother. And Moon Young is dealing with the trauma of having of seeing her mother murdered by her father, who had a brain tumor and just messed up his head. The story is very realistic in portraying both of them, because they both had trauma, even though it was different trauma, and it was somehow intertwined in that her mother murdered his mother. The woman created all the trouble, right, that he was facing, because if his mother was alive, his youth wouldn't be lost. And her youth wouldn't be lost if her mother hadn't was mentally healthy, because she clearly was not. This woman was sick, and both their youth was lost. But it was a beautiful story, and I truly enjoyed it. And the chemistry between the two actors was just off the chart. When you watch it, you would totally see it. But first and lastly, let's get into the life lessons never learned in school, because they will not teach you this in school. The first lesson that I got from It's Okay Not to Be Okay is a very important one: embracing your emotions. So it is super important that no matter what, you are able to embrace your emotions. And it was one of the most powerful lessons that I learned from it. Moon Young was better at embracing her emotions than Gang Tae, right? Because she was very much outspoken, right? And that's why I really loved this character. She's one of my favorite female characters on K-dramas. I loved her. I just was in awe of her, and she made me laugh. But she embraced her emotions. I mean, I don't know that she had very much, but when she was happy, when she was angry, you knew. She told you, and you know, she would let you know. She didn't mix her words. And I think it's important for us to allow ourselves to feel, and you know, we can heal and understand ourselves better when we do that. So don't be afraid to embrace your emotions, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, or even when you're angry. And especially if you're a caregiver, I think it's very important to embrace your emotions and to show it. And I think Gang Tae, he truly suppressed his feelings. He never embraced them. But he learned to do better being around her. Lesson 2, healing through connection. It's Okay Not to Be Okay truly illustrated the healing of connection. And it truly transformed both their lives, and they had meaningful relationships. And it just reminds us of the significance of forming true connections with other people, because it has a positive impact on us and our emotional well-being. And I know we're coming into cuffing season, right? And this is where people just find people because they're lonely and it's cold, and then in the spring or summer you say deuces. That's not the way to live. When we make, right, genuine connections with other people, it has a positive impact on our emotional being. It is not healthy to just be with someone for cuffing season and then say bye. That is not the way we're supposed to live. And I think if lockdown taught us anything, it's that we are not meant to do this life alone. When we are next to each other and we have deep connections, we're happier, right? And when we're in lockdown, we weren't so happy. I think loneliness was definitely on the rise at that time. So it's important to make connections, deep connections. Lesson 3, breaking free from stigma. So we all know the taboo about mental health, and you know, the taboo that surrounds mental health. But this show really encourages us to open up about our struggles, right? And anxiety and whatever mental health issues we might have. You know, so it's important for us to remember that it's okay to seek help and support. You are not alone. You know, and there is strength in reaching out. It is not a weakness when you reach out. Gang Tae started talking to the therapist that was there at the hospital he worked at. And it really helped him figure out some things about himself and some things about Moon Young. And he was able to resolve many issues by talking to that therapist. Even if you don't want to talk to a therapist, find a friend. And if you are a friend, please listen. Because oftentimes when people are talking, they don't need you to fix it. They just want you to listen. Just give them your ear. Lend me your ear for a few minutes, you know. But talk to someone. Don't carry it alone. And Gangtae had always carried his burdens alone. He didn't talk to anyone about it. He just was a good brother, looking after his older brother and carrying all the baggages. So talk to someone. Lesson 4 was that the journey of self-discovery, right? I mean, these characters were so unique that we went on this journey of self-discovery, especially for Gangtae, right? Because he had to now learn to take care of himself and not be responsible for his older brother anymore. And he had to learn that. And so he was on this journey of like, who am I outside of taking care of my older brother? You know? And when we allow ourselves to go on a journey of self-discovery, we can grow, we can heal from the traumas that we've faced in our youth. And in the midst of doing all that, we find our true selves. And all of a sudden, the challenges that we are facing no longer dictate who we are. But we now dictate to those challenges, this is who I am, and you're not going to control me anymore. But you've got to allow yourself to go on that journey of self-discovery. And trust me, it is not easy. It is not easy in discovering your authentic self, what God has called you to do on this earth. And it might seem selfish, but what good are you to people if you do not know who you are, if you do not know what your purpose is on this earth? You are not nobody. You are somebody. You matter. That really matters to me. Lesson 5, the power of forgiveness. I've done a show on this. But it is important that as we grow as adults, as people, it is important for us to forgive. Whether it's forgiving yourself, whether it's forgiving others, it is important. Moon Young had to forgive herself, her mother, because her mother murdered the love of her life's mother. He had to forgive himself and forgive her and her mother, because every time he looked at her, he would see, your mother murdered my mother. Right? How hard? I mean, that's difficult. Because she literally stole his youth when she murdered his mother. He had this hard life of being responsible for his older brother. And he felt bad if he wanted to run away from his brother. That's a big thing to forgive. But they both did it. But he could only come to the place of forgiveness because he was being healed, and he knew that forgiving would heal him. And so they were able to find closure and move forward towards a future, just a future. They're able to do that. So as we go through life and healing and facing whatever trauma you've experienced, remember to embrace your emotions. Connect on a true, authentic level. Don't hold on to stigmas. Allow yourself to go on a journey of self-discovery. I know that you might be afraid of confronting your past and your fears, but you have to do it. And then forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive the person that hurt you. And only then will we learn the power of healing. And when you are able to heal, you make room for other people to heal. So I want to encourage us with Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." There you have it. God has a future for you. God has a plan for you. So your healing matters. You have a purpose. Just open up to His perfect plan for your life. Let go of that trauma. And when there is a day when you're not okay, believe me, it's totally okay not to be okay. And it will pass as long as you acknowledge that that day you're not okay. I want to thank you so much for listening and for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and share with somebody that might need to hear this. And remember, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. Love you guys. Bye-bye.